Right now in the United States, millions and millions of people are worried about one thing: whether or not they will have a job in the next week, in the next month, or even in the next 6 months. Well, we need to discuss that because right now there is a very interesting trend where businesses are starting to downsize. Businesses are starting to pick up new employees that are going to take on not one person's responsibility in their roles, but 2 or potentially 3. Today, we're going to discuss what you should be doing to prepare for this, when this could be coming, and why what you are now hearing isn't something that just got sprung up on us. This is something that businesses have been planning for several months and even several years. So I'll break all this down in just a moment, explain what is going on, even give you a story about what a friend of mine just went through and why what he went through is what most businesses are going to go through over the next 3 to 12 months. So I'll break all this down in just a moment. But first, before I do, if you enjoy these daily updates, do me a favor, go ahead, hit that like button. And now let's begin. So what is happening is that small businesses, you're not seeing the large corporations just yet. Okay. When Microsoft and Amazon and UPS decide to lay off, 10,000 people, each, or 20,000 people, it's not that big of a deal. And again, it's a huge deal for those that lose their jobs, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge impact because they also have, tens of thousands or 100,000 plus employees. So for a large corporation like that, or Walmart or Target, Costco, to lay off, 5,000 employees, yeah, it hits the headlines and you see it on CNN and CNBC and Yahoo and all those other news sites. But here's the interesting thing. The small businesses are the ones that you should be concerned with. Those are the ones that can't afford to eat the tariff costs and the hikes. They can't afford it. They can't afford to increase their prices even more. For many small businesses, they are charging more for pretty much the exact same pair of shoes. They're charging more for a similar shirt. They're charging more for some lavender soap that they made themselves. This isn't a big corporation. And so for a lot of these companies, which the United States is built on small businesses, the majority of businesses here in the U.S. are considered small businesses. So when a small business that has less than 50 employees, they decide to lay off 10 employees, okay, because they're going to downsize, try to restructure, try to change the way that they've done business over the last several decades. So when a small business, again, that has 50 employees lays off 10 people, you don't see that hit the news. Okay, you just don't see it. But if you have 50 employees and you lay off 10, that's a 20% reduction. 20%. That is what you should be concerned with. Okay, when all these small businesses, hundreds of thousands of small businesses here in the United States decide to lay off 10%, 20%, 30%, even 50% of their workforce. That's what you need to be concerned with. So, I have a friend. Him and his wife, they own a small shoe store. Okay, the shoe store's done really well over the past 4 or 5 years, but obviously they're going to get hit with tariffs, and they feel that. They were operating their company at a very small margin. They weren't making a lot of money. They're making a good living, but they weren't making a lot of money based off of what they were doing, how much they were selling and stuff like that. And so one of the things that he had to do, he had to try to work with a supplier or his supplier and get a better deal. The only way he could get a better deal is he pretty much had to double his the amount of inventory that he ordered, his minimum order quantity. The problem there is that would have pushed him to about $100,000 for one order. And he said there's no way he could do that. So there was nothing he could do there. The price is going to be what it is. But then he tried to reduce the amount of workers that he had. And again, this is why I bring this up. One of the things we've seen from companies like Microsoft and Amazon is they take the roles and responsibilities from one person and they give that to somebody else so that they lay off that other person. Okay? And so, or they take the roles and responsibility from person A and they divide it up by 3 or 4 and they give those roles and responsibility, 25% of them, to person B, C, D, and E. That's what we're seeing. Well, my friend tried to do the exact same thing. It didn't work. It didn't work because, again, he's a small business. Large corporations can do this. They can handle it. But a small business just can't. Now, here's the other thing you're going to see. And I bring this up because we've seen it in the past where businesses give raises. But they're not giving large raises to all their employees, just to certain ones. And those are the ones that take on the additional roles and responsibilities from the person that they just let go and just laid off. But here's the other thing. We are now starting to see new job listings where the job listings it's the same title. The pay is slightly increased, just a little bit. But here's the interesting thing. These job listings include other roles and responsibilities that were on other people's job listings. Meaning these companies are planning on hiring less employees to take on more responsibilities. Again, and you'll get a slight increase in pay. But again, these companies are trying to figure out ways to reduce their expenses, but yet continue to operate the same business that they have. Now, here's the interesting thing that we are going to see, and this is where I want you to prepare. If you work for a small company, a small business, okay, even if, I'm not saying 50 employees or less, but even if it's 500 or less, okay, you are going to see changes, and when these changes happen, these will be massive. They'll be felt company-wide. So here's what you need to do. First off, prepare. Prepare emotionally, mentally, financially for this. Because again, if we see tariffs increase too much more, the problem is, and again, it doesn't mean we're going to see price increases across the board, but we are going to see layoffs. Okay? It is going to happen. So just prepare. Okay, just mentally, emotionally for it, that you may get laid off. But the people that get laid off that have no emergency fund, have no plan moving forward, those are the ones that are the most negatively impacted. So here's what I'd recommend. Get rid of any debt that you have. Okay, if you have a large car payment, get rid of the car. Get something much cheaper that you can actually afford. If you have a large rent payment, try to find something a little less expensive. Okay, bring in a roommate if you can, or if you need to. Another thing, sell any unwanted or unneeded items. If you don't use a bike, sell the bike. If you don't use a mattress, sell the mattress. If you have 20 pairs of shoes, but yet, like most people, have 2 feet, well, maybe you don't need 20 pairs of shoes. Get rid of some of the shoes, take some of that money and put it into savings, and just be prepared. And the last thing, go and start a side hustle. Resell items, buy things at Goodwill and thrift stores and sell them online, sell them locally. Buy stuff from Craigslist and Facebook, and again, sell them locally. Go to yard sales and get great deals on furniture, refurbish it, okay? Put a new stain on it, and then sell it for a profit. Do little things like that to put more money in your bank account, because again, if you do this now, then if you do get laid off, it won't be so painful. But I'll leave you with that. The one main thing I want you to take away from this is the people that are prepared, both emotionally and financially, you're going to be better off. Okay? So, the layoffs are coming. Okay, we see the signs of it. They're not going to really happen for the large corporations. You're not going to see it on Yahoo and Fox News. It's going to be the small companies, and it's going to be several of them all at the same time. That is what economists are predicting at this time. So, as we get more information on this, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get it. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.